Squad, it's your boy Richie Skye back with another video. Yes, we are back in the building, and today we are talking OG from Basketball Wives. We got some bad news, okay? Then we're going to be talking about the fallout with Miss Kenya Moore from this past episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know y'all saw it. Everybody was talking about it. So she has some things to get up off of her chest, okay? So we're going to discuss that. Now, before we get down with the get down, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell button, join the texting community, and then also make sure you guys follow me on the gram, okay? Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get down with the stories, all right? So, OG, well, first, before we get into that, y'all know Basketball Wives is coming back on tonight, the second episode of the 9th season. Let me know in the chatterization in the comment section below if you guys will be watching that tonight, okay? And if you don't watch tonight, you guys know that you can watch the review tomorrow, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the story. OG, your girl OG did an interview with our friend Storm Monroe last week. I will put the entire interview down in the description so you guys can watch it and show some love. But we got to talk about a couple of highlights that we got from that interview, right? So OG is letting us know that this lawsuit with Evelyn is still causing some problems, okay? Still causing her some issues. And then we also got the tea that she was not able to film with certain cast members because they was refusing to film with her. Now, we had heard this before, right? But she confirmed it. She also confirmed that there was a couple of people that she didn't see the entirety of the filming. So we're going to get into that. Now, of the lawsuit, she says it's still ongoing, so I can't talk too much about it because, you know, it's still ongoing. We are entering different stages due to COVID, and the level of lawsuit that was filed against me, it was not considered high on the protocol, high on the standards, so the courts are closed. So everything had to be done during Zoom and different things like that. So it kind of got pushed on the back burner, which sucks because I'm kind of sitting here with a pending lawsuit. And because of the lawsuit, I had to file a counter lawsuit to protect myself. And it's kind of just this little cloud looming, but I'll be victorious in the end. So I'm just riding out the process. Now, this is kind of the same way that we saw, well, this not the same, but it's a similar situation in principle with what we saw with Candace and Monique. When Candace filed the charges, then Monique had to file them to protect herself. OG similarly had to file a countersuit to protect herself in this situation as well. This is common practice in the legal industry, okay? It's common practice. So there's that. It's still interesting to me, though, to see cast members being able to, you know, sue each other like this, because typically you don't see that, okay? Now, I know with Monique and Candace, it was because of some charges. And with this situation, it is a lawsuit, like suing, okay? So a little bit different, but the principle is still the same. Anyway, well, I mean, a couple of differences, but y'all get what I'm saying. Now, she also said, I never at any point of time refused to film with anyone. I was completely open. I was completely ready to listen. I was completely ready to tackle and to try to find resolution, any shape or form if it was possible. However, I had to work within the constraints of finding out that 4 people did not want to film with me. 2 of which eventually came around, 2 of which I never saw the entire time we started filming. Wow, okay? Wow. Having my little, I'm having a moment right here, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, listen, y'all know I told y'all before, I hate it. I absolutely hate it when cast members are allowed to dictate who they will and they won't film with. And so I'm trying to figure out for the life of me, who is it, okay? Who is it that will not film with your girl OG? Now, my guess is this. My guess is that it was, this is just my guess. Now, I could be wrong. I ain't afraid of being wrong. But my guess is that it was likely Malaysia, Shawnee, Evelyn, and either Phoebe or Kristen, right? So the two that I'm thinking ended up coming around was probably Malaysia and maybe Shawnee, because Shawnee kind of gave indication that she was willing to sit down with OG, but those are the two that I'm thinking that actually came around, right? And if it wasn't Shawnee that was included, then I'm going to say it was Malaysia and Kristen, and Malaysia and Kristen ended up going around and filming with OG, and that Phoebe and Evelyn did not. Now, listen, here's the thing. Evelyn is probably not going to be around her because they are engaged in an active lawsuit. It would have been my greatest desire, okay, for this lawsuit to have been dropped and for them to have found a way to come together to work through their issues, because for real, the real issues between Evelyn and OG was never that deep, okay? It was never really that deep in the beginning, okay? Even up until the end of the season. It was when they took it to social media that it started to get real, crazy, right? So I feel like y'all could have bounced back from this. It won't even that serious. Y'all ain't either one of y'all even trying to be with Ocho Cinco now anyway. So what does it matter? Who cares? Anyway, that's just my thoughts. Y'all let me know in the comment section down below who you think it was. I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say. Now, let's move on to Miss Kenya Moore, okay? So Kenya Moore spills some interesting tea, right? So Kenya Moore basically spills some tea on the next cast trip, which we know is to be to New Orleans, right? There was a lot coming out and coming at her this past episode with regard to, her mothering and whether there was double standards and whether her mothering was more important than their mothering. And, Kenya Moore really was active on Twitter, really kind of retweeting things. One of the things that she retweeted was when she said that someone said that they have weaponized her mother against her, and now they're doing the same thing with Brooklyn. It's sick. And she retweeted that. She also tweeted out this. She says, I don't need to give them an option. So she's kind of doubling down on her assertion that she doesn't need to give them an option of whether or not to bring their child, okay? And then she says in the tweet, no one can tell you not to bring your child, not production, not an employer, and nor me. And no one brought their child on the next trip, even though they were told they could, okay? So I'm assuming that there's just an open policy about, whether or not people can bring their children or not. I don't really know how this whole situation works. We saw this become an issue on Potomac, right? Who knew that it would also be an issue on Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay? Now, in my mind, it would seem as though, and I'm not a mom, okay? I just got dogs, so I'm a dog dad, right? But in my mind, and ladies, let me know, especially if you have a newborn or have had a newborn, would you want to take your newborn baby on the girls' trip if you had the option to do so, okay? Because I feel like some moms would want to leave their child at home if they could, right? But since we know that Kenya is not able to do so, we understand why she's bringing her daughter with her. However, there are people who say, okay, you have the ability to afford the nanny. Okay, so then, like Kandi says, in my mind, if I'm thinking to myself, and she does talk about this in her tweets, the nanny is not able to do nannerization for 24 hours. And so Kandi says that's why you have two. Kandi might be a good resource for Kenya in the future on how to get these type of things done. You know what I'm saying? Or put some provisions in your contract for the fact that you need nanny support when you want to go on these trips. Now, here's the thing. There was one other thing that she said that I had to kind of raise a side eye at because I know how these trips work. Someone tweeted and said, all the girls getting mad at Kenya's duties as a hostess when we all know production is in charge of that stuff. And so Kenya Moore retweets and says, responds to that and says, right, like the food and the bus or pretending to need an invitation for me to bring their kids. Well, I will say this. There is a lot that on some casts that the actual host will actually do, right? On some people's trips, the host is actually doing the hosting, right? Just like I believe that it was Kandi that made provisions to have everyone have an outfit for the stripper night, right? She also made provisions to have the thousands of dollars. I'm almost pretty sure that came out of Kandi's budget. Just like when I did the Tea with Monique channel last week, and she talked about what she made on the first season of the show. And she says a lot of that went back into events and things of that nature for the show. So I do know that there are cast members who do go the extra mile and make provisions and pay for things and that sort of thing. It just looks like Kenya is not one of those people, okay? She's like, production, y'all need to handle this stuff because it ain't coming out of my pocket, okay? That's what it sounds like to me. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Are the people coming down too hard on Kenya? What do you guys think about it? Let me know. Who should be responsible for the trips? Should it be all production or should it be production and the ladies? Okay, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, and I'm gonna catch you in the next video.